Here's a segment from the latest edition of St. Charles Parish Today, a monthly local talk show.
Carla, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Today I want to talk about the Grants Office. It's been instrumental in helping St. Charles Parish secure federal dollars. Your office is also tasked with managing the existing grants which fund so many programs and projects in the parish. However, today I wanted us to look back at 2018 and recap for the residents all your office is able to achieve. First, the grants process is difficult to understand. Can you explain to the residents what it means to secure grant dollars?
Yes, the grants process. It seems like it would be an easy process. You submit an application, it gets funded, we get the money, and you do the project, right? Well, I can attest it's definitely not that easy. Applications that we submit can range from a few pages up to 500 pages long. It takes a lot of coordination with our department and the department's project managers, engineers, architects, the parish council, planning and zoning, GIS, and a long list of others, including your administration. So we definitely couldn't do this ourselves. It's a group effort. And then once we get an award, there's usually a long list of items that need to be completed. Sometimes we have to complete environmental assessments where we write to numerous federal and state agencies to get their views on the environmental impacts the project may have, and we package all of that into a report to submit to the grant agency. We also have to ensure that the financial side of it is taken care of, as far as being sure the project is in the parish budget, the electronics funds transfer is set up, and other items. And then at this point, we still don't even have the grant funding. We have to continue to monitor the progress of the project, and once it's underway and the parish has made payments on that project, then we can complete reimbursement requests and finally get the grant funds. It's a whole lot of work to get grants, but it's paid off tremendously for the residents of St. Charles Parish, and I did a little math to put it in perspective. So for every dollar that has been invested into the grants office, we've brought back $28 in return, and it's the rate of return is an astonishing 2,719%. So you can't get that anywhere else.
No, you can't get that at the banks.
No.
It's very impressive what the grant department has brought to the parish, in form of the levy and all. What was the total number of grant dollars your office pulled in for 2018?
So far in 2018, we've secured $8.6 million, and that's for various projects, including the West Bank Hurricane Protection Levy, Monsanto Linear Park, Rathborne Park, the Hazard Mitigation Plan update. We had some disaster recovery projects from the 2 hurricanes last year that were approved. And then we also received additional funding for residential elevations and housing preservation for low-income homeowners in St. Charles Parish.
How does your office go about finding grants?
So there are a few ways that we do this. Sometimes the grant programs come every year, and sometimes they're every 2 years. Sometimes we're notified by the state agencies that a new funding opportunity has opened. And sometimes it's just staying in the know of what's going on the federal and state levels and what they're doing with their money each year and how the local governments can apply for that funding.
It's very impressive the different things you accomplish, especially on the front end you were talking before, starting the grants and all. What was your biggest accomplishment in 2018, would you say?
So I would say the biggest accomplishment for the grants office is the Parity Canal Gate project. We have successfully coordinated 3 different awards to help fund this project, and I'm going to explain how we did it. So St. Charles Parish got an allocation from the BP oil spill. CPRA had a competitive program that was a matching program with their BP oil spill funds, and we applied to that, and we were successfully awarded that grant. And those 2 combined are bringing in around $3 million. And then we just received another award from the Delta Regional Authority, and I think this one is another huge accomplishment because the Delta Regional Authority usually tends to focus their funding on projects that directly create jobs, which this project doesn't directly create a job, but we wrote in our best argument about how coastal protection is an industry in and of itself. So the project indirectly supports job creation and retention in the industry. And there were a lot of other merits to it, but I think that it was really one of those that I wasn't sure that we were going to get, but I think we pulled it off. So that was definitely an accomplishment, and we focused in on this project a lot.
It was a big accomplishment for the whole parish. That parity gate, is going to give us the closure that we need.
Correct.
What is the most important thing you think residents need to know about grant funding?
So grant funding is a good thing. I get a lot of comments sometimes that it costs the parish money with the cost shares that are sometimes required, but we try to focus on projects that the parish is going to do anyway, such as the West Bank Hurricane Protection Levy. And then by looking for funding from outside sources, for these projects, we're able to do more with less, which I think is your philosophy.
Carla, thanks. A lot of information. Thanks for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. Thank you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Look for the entire episode at www.scptoday.com or on SCP TV.